Bodie and I welcome you to the condo. This is Bodie, our wild little boy that we've had about 6 months now. My name is Susan. Welcome to the condo. I'm so glad you came back for a visit, and if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and I'm sorry I don't post on a regular schedule, but there's just not that much going on around here, or at least that I think is interesting. I don't know, you might, but I think my life's pretty boring. But anyway, we have some projects we've done. There's 3 that I'm going to show you, one of which is behind here, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. We put up board and batten in the dining room against the wall with the china cabinet. We did this wall, and then we added a cabinet in the utility room for extra storage. So I am going to show you that, or Bodie and I are going to show you that. He's kind of jealous. I went to see a friend today who had a new puppy, and all he can do, he will not leave my side. He's like, "You're going to trade me in for a new puppy? I smell a puppy on you, and are you going to trade me in? What?" So he's a clinger right now. But no, we're not going to trade you in. No, you're ours to keep. So I'm going to show you the board and batten first. I did do some video as we did it, not a lot, because one of the days that my husband worked on it, I was in bed with a bad sinus headache, and I still have a sinus thing going on, and my eyes are all puffy, so you'll have to excuse that too. But I'll show you enough that you get the gist. And we kind of followed Amy Fretz's tutorial that she did on her video a couple weeks ago. She did the wall in her living room. So we used her, her dimensions and stuff that she used. It was fairly easy to do, although it seemed to drag out for like 10 days because some days my husband didn't feel like working on it. And then we had a little problem with the paint. You'll hear about that. But it really was an easy project. And in the end, it looked really good. Now, I have to say my husband's heart was not in it. He did it because, he saw Amy's video and thought it looked nice. But he was like, do we really need that? The price of lumber is really high now, He was being the sensible one, and I was being the let's do it because it'll look good. So, anyway, it's done, and it does look really good. So I'll show you that, as well as the other projects. We bought 12 1x3s, 6 feet long from Lowe's, actually, and it was pretty decent looking wood. Lowe's, sometimes the wood's kind of crappy, should I say. Anyway, we have primed it with the Zooster primer. And now we're going to do the choppy. Here's a peek at us putting up the second horizontal 1x3 that was 6 feet long. And I just held up a piece that's 10 inches tall, and that's going to be the vertical that will go between the top horizontal and the bottom horizontal. And that vertical will form the little squares. One thing you have to do is constantly use a level to make sure your verticals and your horizontals are level. The color at Sherwin-Williams that the lady helped me pick out to coordinate with the kiln beige, which is the color up here, was called Canvas Tan. I don't know how, whoops, you can see them next to each other. Tried to get the light so you could see. And looks good here, but on the wall it didn't. It looked okay on the wall. I kept looking at it, and I would open the shutters, I turned the light on. There was something about it, just had a tint to it that I just didn't think looked all that great. It didn't didn't jive with what I wanted it to look like. So after spending $60 for a gallon of paint, yes, my husband wasn't happy. We debated whether to buy a quart or a gallon, but I knew a quart wouldn't do this wall and all the, coats that we had to give the wood. So anyway, I promised him I'd use it somewhere. So I guess I'll be painting my craft room with that paint. Oh well, whatever, it's just paint. So inside our foyer, the top part is still the builder color off-white. So we pulled out that can. We had gotten an extra can, and I said, I'm gonna try it over here. And I looked at the color on the can. It's a Sherwin-Williams, but it's just called a custom mix architectural. It's whatever the builder used. More like an off-white. So I painted over what I had done over here, because this plaster is really that texture plaster, and it's hard as the dickens to paint. And you have to do multiple coats, because every time you think you get down in the little groovies, you don't. I can even see places I've got to go back over now after 2 coats. So we went back today and got another quart of paint, and hopefully that will be enough. I like it. I knew that I would like it because that's what I have and I'll show you over in the foyer. I have the builder paint at the top and the kiln on the bottom. I've never painted that top. I like the combo there, and I liked it being a little different from the living area. So anyway, I like it. It looks different in different light, but I hope when you see the finished product, you'll like it. So that's the story on the paint. But I have since learned today, when I was at Sherwin-Williams, I didn't realize they have these like 6 by 6 squares of adhesive paint that you could put on the wall. So I could have bought a couple, I think it was, you could buy 3 for $14 or something like that. I could have bought them, come home and done it, and then gone back up there. But I didn't see them, and the lady didn't show them to me, and I was in a hurry. I ran in there after church yesterday. So that's what you get for being in a hurry. But anyway, that's a good deal. I'm sure when we have to get those adhesive tapes, it would have saved me $60 for sure. So I'm gonna take you in the foyer and show you that combination in there so you get a better idea. So here's that combination of paint right here. And I think it looks really good together. So I think it's gonna look okay on that wall. I'll give you a shot from this angle. It's really hard to tell because the top rail is painted, the wall color, and the bottom rail is just still in the primer. And I opened the shutters to let the light in, but I like this combination here, and I think it'll be okay. So we shall see. Here's a peek at it. I think it looks really good. The boards are 3 inches wide, and they were put up with a nail gun. And my husband just took a piece of graph paper, measured out the wall, and did the spacing. I have no clue because I'm not very good at measurements or math, but there it is. And I think the paint color goes very well after a lot of trial and error, as you are going to hear in this video. I think it just adds such a nice accent to that wall because it was a focal point. Like, I'm standing in the living room now as you look over to that wall. And I just think it finishes it off. It gives a little custom look for this little condo. So now I'm going to show you a couple of the other projects we've been working on. On this wall behind me, I used to have lighthouse pictures. They were 2 long Herb Jones lighthouses and then smaller lighthouse pictures, all Virginia, North Carolina lighthouses. And for a couple years now, had wanted to switch it up to barn pictures. And when we moved here, there was a barn right over in the field, right next to, there was a big field next to where they built the condos. It's now a senior apartment. But there was a barn, and then there was a barn up on the side of the road that they have since torn down because they're getting ready to widen the road. You know, the city is coming to the country. So we have pictures of those that are up here, and then I think maybe one or two other ones we've taken, but my husband and I are on a journey to ride out and try to find barns to take pictures of. So some of these pictures I bought off Etsy, or I saw somebody posted on Facebook and I saved them. Whatever, you know, they're not all mine, and I'll show you which ones are not. But I wanted to get the frames placed and put pictures in there. Some of them are just fillers to hold the spot till I get something better. So I'm going to show you those. So hang on and I'll swing the camera around. So here are the pictures. Like I said, these are the same frames that I had the lighthouse pictures in. The center picture was just a picture I ordered off of Amazon. It was very inexpensive, like $25, I think. Good deal. And then we'll move in and I'll show you the other ones up close. These bottom two pictures are barns. This one on the left over here, I'm trying not to get my shirt in it. I ordered off Etsy from Shutter Tree Photos. She has really great photos and she has a lot of barns. And I wanted to keep all these surrounding pictures in black and white. I love black and white. So, and then over to this barn picture. This one is a barn that's in Virginia. It's in Leesburg, and it was on the property of Selma Mansion, which you can go on YouTube and see Selma Mansion, Selma Plantation. It was a home, a beautiful, beautiful Virginia home that had been deserted for about 20 years and was in decay. And this wonderful couple bought it and restored the property and all the outbuildings. And they did restore this barn, but she posted this picture as a before and I just copied it. But there you go, there's a better picture of it. Isn't it? It's just so charming. And my friend and I went up there and looked at binoculars through this and we could see the barn. It's really, really pretty. And of course it's just stunning now that they returned it to what it originally was. It was like a carriage house. You can see on the bottom a carriage house. Then this picture over here, I'm sorry about the light in here. It's either good light or no light. This barn was the barn that was over next to our house, our condo community, that was torn down, and it broke my heart that they tore it down. But at least we did get a picture of it. And then as we move up, this is a barn somebody had posted online. It was a free picture, so I snagged it up and had it printed out, and I just love the character in that picture. And then the barn above that, hang on, I gotta get up there. It's not really a barn. It was an old, actually it was like a general store. And this logo, Pepsi Cola logo, was painted on the side of it. And the colors were still there, like the red Pepsi and the light blue in the background. But because I wanted my pictures black and white, it doesn't, of course that doesn't show up. But this was in Kinston, North Carolina. And then this picture is another photo that we got from Shutter Tree Photos, from their Etsy shop. And then over here, this is one that definitely needs to be replaced because it's not that clear and sharp. But that was a barn next to Sanctuary Vineyards in Currituck, North Carolina. And this was the other barn just off the road, right as you come into my community, that was torn down for the road widening. And we had to kind of stretch that out, crop a lot of it out because there were cars in the picture and street signs and all that. And then this picture, it is in color, but not a bright, vibrant color. It's a barn in Matthews County, Virginia, after it snowed this year. but I just wanted that red barn to pop, so I went ahead and printed it because it wasn't, you know, super bright as far as colors. And I think it goes in really nice with the rest of the picture. This center picture came from Amazon. I believe it was about $25, $25 and some change. And I wanted that to be the picture that had the color, although it's a muted color, which is what I wanted. And I just, so that it brings your eye in and then you look around at these other pictures. But like I said, some of these pictures are temporary until we can go barn hunting. We went out to the Amish country, but they, most of their barns were new and too shiny. So we got to hit the roads, the back roads, and get some barn pictures. But anyway, that was that project. This next project was adding this cabinet in my laundry room. Go up the steps that way to my craft room, but we had this space behind the door. I have all my junk, and I needed a place to put extras, overflow stuff. My pantry was getting so full, so I put the KitchenAid here just simply because I had it on the top shelf of my pantry and it was hard to lift out. To be honest, I rarely used it. I just use a hand mixer and I don't have room on my counter to store it. So I put it there and I figured it would be easier for me to carry it into the kitchen. But this is just a stock cabinet like the other one we have our coffee bar on that we got from Lowe's, and it does provide places for things like overflow and, you know, junk, the crock pots, the Instapot, just overflow of stuff. It's already gotten junked up. But I thought it was an interesting thing. My husband, for the top, this is a piece of cherry. In our other house, we had a formal living room, and it was a leaf to a coffee table we had in there. So, you know, my husband's one that doesn't want to throw away good wood if he can use it. So he saved this leaf, and I think it looks really pretty here. I mean, it was a beautiful wood, and, you know, instead of buying a countertop or something, it fit, and he put it on there, and I think it looks great. He stores his coffee extra. You know, we go to BJ's and get the big box of coffee, so the extra pods are in there. And then up on top, it's just another stock cabinet from Lowe's. And those baskets are like extension cords and dog stuff and that sort of thing. You know, I have such a small space here. I gotta make each and every little inch work for me. Thanks so much for stopping by, friends. Had to change my shirt because Bodie would not leave me alone. He kept sniffing all over me and had to change my shirt. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. I hope you liked our little project. I think it turned out really well. I would never buy another house with this rough plaster, I'll tell you that, because it is a booger to paint. But anyway, I think it does. It really finishes it off and really makes it look custom and different from the other units out here. And as far as any other projects getting ready to happen, I don't see it for a while because my husband just wasn't in it. You know, he wanted to get out in his garage, clean his garage, do his stuff. So we'll have to take a break. Save our marriage, take a break. So anyway, I don't know what's coming up next, but whatever it is, I'll try to take you along. And until then, you all take care, and thanks again for stopping by. Bye.